Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Senator Cynthia Lummis says Treasury should convert gold for Bitcoin reserves. Guys, this is how bullish it's getting. The United States government has the highest gold reserves in the world with over 8,000 tons of the precious metal on their balance sheet. But crypto advocates are looking to increase that, like Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis. She's advocating for the U.S. Treasury Department to convert a portion of its gold holdings into Bitcoin to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And was it Trump who came out and said it? I think it was somebody from his team said that they are looking to hold Bitcoin as a strategic reserve moving forward. Lummis told Bloomberg that by converting gold certificates held by the U.S. Treasury into Bitcoin, the immediate effect on the U.S. government's balance sheet would remain neutral, as opposed to spending approximately $90 billion to purchase the Bitcoin at current market prices. The U.S. Senator previously argued that the U.S. Treasury should convert a portion of the asset to purchase Bitcoin for the strategic reserve, but never specified which of the Treasury's holdings should be sold to acquire more of the digital currency. When the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill was introduced, Senator Lummis remarked that establishing the reserve was paramount as families across Wyoming struggle to keep up with soaring inflation rates and our national debt reaches new and unprecedented highs. So, a bit of a strategic move here. I think, they could take a page out of, maybe some of these other countries' playbooks, maybe not as aggressive as a country like El Salvador, but, adding Bitcoin to the reserves, certainly not a bad idea. Senator Lummis's Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Initiative includes provisions to acquire 5%, of the total Bitcoin supply, so 1 million BTC to be held for 20 years. As mentioned earlier, this ambitious goal would cost approximately $90 billion at current market prices, but, they could, in fact, convert something that they've already made gains on. Similar strategy to, if you see one of your altcoins move, you take the profits from that, put it in a low liar to hopefully supercharge your profits down the road. Investor and asset manager Anthony Pompliano recently argued there is a global race for Bitcoin among sovereign governments, and the multi-billion-dollar price tag is a small price to pay, guys. Here's a quote from Anthony Pompliano. He says the national debt increased by $850 billion in the last 90 days alone. If we were to try to put that same $850 billion into Bitcoin, that is about half of the current market cap. So we're talking about $50 to $100 billion, small rounding errors when it comes to government spending. And I think that is well worth the risk reward. So, I always tell people, cryptocurrency is a great investment. No, I'm not talking about you guys. I know you guys already know cryptocurrency is a great investment, but for people in my real life, they kind of waffle. What do I do? And there's okay, I'll walk you through it. But by no means are you to be buying when the prices are already high. Guys, for more information on what I'm doing personally, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. It is only $5 a month. That price will be going up. But for those of you guys getting in now, you will be grandfathered in. You will not be paying more than $5. So if you guys are interested in knowing my target plan, because I'm going to be tackling it from many different angles, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. XRP is rallying, and the Virtune XRP ETP is outperforming Bitcoin and the OMX Stockholm 30. So guys, this is a Swedish index for XRP, the Virtune XRP ETP. We talked about it last year. I think it was last year in 2023 when they introduced it. Check that out. You can see that there in the light blue. The OMX Stockholm 30 is in the dark blue down there, and Bitcoin is in the orange. So Virtune is doing very, very well. Of course, XRP is pumping quite a bit too. In the last 2 weeks since the election, less than 2 weeks, we did see XRP soar over 156%. And now, as of the time of this recording, it's down by a little bit, still about 130% as of the time of this recording. Right now, XRP is trading at about $1.13. So, this is going to be an interesting, very, very interesting bull run, I gotta say. XRP has just been, this is the 5-minute chart, by the way, and I don't usually bring up the 5-minute chart unless I'm day trading, which is rare these days, but sometimes I do it. We're seeing positive momentum, though, on the XRP chart. As you guys can see here, we did hit a bottom of about $1. So now that dollar is the base for the short term. XRP did go up as high as almost $1.27. And now we're hovering in and around here. So roughly $1.13, give or take. But ultimately, guys, we are continuing to trend up. We're making these higher highs, which is very, very nice to see. And Bitcoin, of course, is doing very well. So, this is why we're seeing all these cryptocurrencies start to rally. XRP, though, does have real world utility. And, hopefully, we're crossing our fingers. Hopefully we do see something special in 2025 when we do hear potentially, if we do hear some announcements revolving around real world utility. In the meantime, guys, we're going to be trading in a spec market. Mike Manfield here bringing this to our attention. Ripple partner AirwallX opens startup program in New Zealand. Check this out. The initiative, which includes practical resources, networking and content opportunities, exclusive product offers from AirwallX and others within the startup ecosystem, and the opportunity to win about 10,000 New Zealand dollars from their business acceleration grant, has been created to empower the next generation of Kiwi entrepreneurs to scale faster and more efficiently. So this is being brought upon by AirwallX. Free and open to register, guys. This is AirwallX for startups. They will support businesses with tips and tools to manage their money more effectively from the beginning of their business journey. Joining the program gives startups access to the following for the first 6 months. So they have a list here: $50,000 free FX for your next capital raise. That's zero fees, zero margin on your first 50,000 in FX conversions. Obviously, they are leveraging DLT technology, RippleNet, probably running through XRP to do that. 1% cashback on international transactions made using AirwallX cards. In addition, founders will have access to guidance and exclusive perks from a variety of ecosystem partners on everything from employee share option plans and insurance to accounting software and compliance tools. Taylor Fox-Smith, head of AirwallX for startups and at AirwallX ANZ, said the program has been designed to educate and unlock growth opportunities for founders. As an Aussie-born global fintech, we have an important role to play in supporting our neighboring Kiwi startups as they navigate the founder's journey, she says down there, having already worked with tech powerhouses like Auror and Tracksuit. We also believe in deep community connections with enablers like Creative HQ. So AirwallX, guys, the AirwallX team bolstering their bottom line. Obviously, it does behoove them to promote other companies, because the more companies participate, it's almost kind of like the Ripple UBRI acceleration program, how they're helping to fund developer programs in these universities, big universities around the world that have these programs, how that's just going to benefit the XRP ledger down the road. If more people are developing, then more people are going to be using XRP and more demand is going to be driven to XRP. So now we're starting to see Ripple partners, guys, opening up new programs for startups. In this case, AirwallX is doing it for New Zealand. So great news there. Wanted to thank Mike for posting that. I'm hoping these murmurings are true. Do you think XRP will go parabolic when Gary Gensler officially resigns? Now, the other day, was it Eleanor Turret? Yeah, I think it was Turret. She put out an article on Fox Business. She was saying that, it could be, the rumors are that Gary Gensler could step down before Trump's inauguration. And, there's a whole short list of all kinds of different people that could take his place. And, obviously some are better than others. Some are already legacy SEC commissioners like Hester Person, Mark Ueda. But guys, I think there is a better candidate. The number one candidate I would love to see at the helm of the SEC is Brian Brooks. And the reason I say that is, there's so many reasons. Strong alignment between the U.S. Treasury and the SEC on issues like a Bitcoin reserve will be critical. This is what Brian Brooks actually tweeted out just the other day. Okay, this is just from yesterday. We need to make America the capital of capital formation again. And I think there's a lot of people that agree with him. Just so everyone has proper context here, all of the policy wins described below were accomplished by Brian Brooks himself as acting comptroller of the currency under Trump 45. No one got more done than Brian did in a short period of time serving in the Trump 45 administration. And to give you guys a sense of how much he knows, okay, how much he knows and how much he realizes the importance of clear-cut, comprehensive cryptocurrency regulation, because I think this is where the SEC fell short or falls short currently. They don't have a framework. They're like, come in and register, but then they have their gotcha moments where they sue everybody. It's regulation by enforcement, as we keep hearing. Well, Brian Brooks is different. Whoever Trump appoints as SEC chair won't be starting from scratch. In his last administration, President Trump built the infrastructure for 2 all-time high cycles. Remember, authorizing national banks to custody crypto assets seems simple, but the SEC requires qualified custodians for institutional crypto asset management. And he posts a resource there. Then he says, providing clear guidance on bank deposits that back stablecoins. Stablecoins are a powerful tool to reinforce our global reserve currency status. Authorizing financial institutions to serve as validator nodes on blockchains on the theory that decentralized networks are no less legitimate than ATM networks, the SWIFT network, and other networks supported by banks. And then chartering the first bank focused on custody crypto assets. In short, the first Donald Trump administration moved the needle on these issues. The next SEC chair doesn't have to start from zero. He or she can build on the president's proven track record. And so, people down here saying like, Mickle, please let it be you. XRP Snakey saying, Brian is mega bullish on XRP. I'm sure he could get the Ripple lawsuit settled within 30 minutes. Frecky down here saying, wish it was you. XRP Bart, real Donald Trump. Brian Brooks is the man to sort out the mess the SEC and Gary Gensler have made. I want Brian Brooks too, says Bank XRP. Would you fancy the job, Brian, says Ripples in Wales. So, so many people very bullish on Brian. And I mean, there's so many reasons why. Here's the HBAR board member. Oh yeah, he's on the board of HBAR. HBAR board member Brian Brooks testifying, the future chairman of the SEC who will potentially replace Gary Gensler.
So the characteristic of Web 1, if people remember their original AOL account, was an ability to look in a curated walled garden at a set of content that was not interactive but was presented to you on AOL the way that Time magazine used to show you the articles they wanted you to see inside of their magazine. Just you could see it on a screen. The innovation of Web 2 was that suddenly you could not only read content, but you could also write content. This is when the blogosphere became a big thing. People remember this from the late 90s, the early 2000s. The reason for the centralization of the internet, of course, was that all of that activity was being monetized by a very small number of companies. Facebook, as the chairwoman mentions, Google, and 2 or 3 other companies. What makes Web 3 different is the ability to own the actual network. And that's what crypto assets themselves represent, is an ownership stake in an underlying network. So when you hear people talk about, for example, layer 1 tokens, what they mean is this is your reward for providing the ledger maintenance services, the computing power to the network that on Web 1 and 2 was done by Google, right? So now people in my hometown of Pueblo, Colorado can actually own the Ethereum network, but they can't own the internet. That's owned by Google and a few other companies. That's what the project of crypto is all about, is allowing people to directly own the networks that have native assets that are supporting it. And that's the nature of decentralization, where the token holders are the people who control the asset, not
so
Google.
Token holders, for our language here on the Hill, those are digital assets, right? Which are the keys to open up the ledger for you to participate, right?
Correct.
So describe to us how those digital assets fit into this internet revolution, Web 3.
So the concept is that you have sort of application layer tokens and you have protocol layer tokens. So if I'm an owner of Bitcoin, let's say that I'm a miner of Bitcoin, somebody who actually creates Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is the reward I receive for doing the work to keep the network operational, and that allows me to own a piece of the Bitcoin blockchain. Or take Ethereum, which is easier to understand. The Ether token represents an ownership stake in the network, but on top of that network are all kinds of apps that get built on the network, much like the apps on your phone depend on the underlying network existing that lets the phone operate. And so people will make judgments about which network is likely to win, and they will invest in the tokens in that network much the same way you might invest in Google stock because you think Google is going to scale access to the original internet. The difference being here, you can vote on what happens in the future of a proof of stake network, for example. You can get rewarded through a proof of work token for maintaining a ledger on something like Bitcoin. But the real message here is that what happens on the decentralized internet is decided by the investors, versus what happens on the main internet is decided by Twitter, Facebook, Google, and a small number of other companies.
Okay, so getting this layer on digital assets right, for Congress to understand this, everything is built upon that on-ramp to this new internet. So very important for us to be sensitive to how this develops and any actions we take in terms of laws and updating laws to incorporate these new technologies.
Yeah, Mr. McHenry, couldn't agree more. And I think when you hear about all of the problems of different big tech companies, the importance of an owner-controlled network becomes clear.
Boom goes the dynamite. Brian Brooks coming in with the knowledge. That's no nonsense right there. And I mean, just to kind of add some context to this, you guys remember this video I did from about 3 years ago. Brian Brooks just insinuated XRP price will depend on XRP utility. Listen to this. This from Bloomberg News. The token-focused approach is the wrong approach. Think about the networks. All tokens are about is to induce people to participate in the networks. The networks that win will have very valuable tokens. Let me play you guys this clip interviewing Brian Brooks. I think he nails it on the head. If you thought that the cryptocurrency itself was the thing to focus on,
is going to be, I guess, how people sort of view the case for crypto. Is it just a speculative asset? Is it a store of value similar to gold? Or is there a use case for it as a transactional means here? What's the argument that you make?
Yeah, well, look, first of all, let me just say that the token-focused approach to this conversation, I always say, is the wrong approach. So forget about the crypto tokens for a minute. Think about the networks that are the reason the crypto tokens exist. That's all tokens are about, okay, is to induce people to participate in networks. So forget about whether, Tezos or Filecoin or Uniswap are going to be more valuable tomorrow or less valuable tomorrow. The question is, do you have a thesis for the underlying thing that they're powering? So think about it this way. You don't buy Apple stock because you think that the stock is going up or down. You buy Apple stock because you think that iPhones are going to win in the market. And if they win in the market, then by definition, your stock is going to go up in value. Same thing here. If you think Ethereum is the best platform to build financial services apps, then ETH tokens are going to go up in value. Stop thinking about the sort of the technical analysis of the shape of the price movements and start focusing on the network that's being built. The networks that win will have very valuable tokens, and it's more like that than it is about the tokens themselves. So that's why at the OCC, we really focused on the idea that some of these networks are payment networks. They're being used by companies to transact value from person A to person B. So they should be regulated like SWIFT and the automated clearinghouse, right? It's very easy to understand that.
Yeah.
Versus other things like Filecoin, it's a decentralized storage device. It should be regulated like the cloud. Once you think about it like that, it's a very different.
I think we can see where he's going with this, guys. If he does replace Gary Gensler and he does usher in meaningful clarity, it's going to be about those blockchain systems, DLT technology like the XRP ledger. Those are going to be the coins that are going to be the most valuable. And guys, the speculative market will be a thing of the past once these cryptocurrencies with real-world value and real-world utility make their way to the moon. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. And please subscribe to my Patreon if you guys are interested in seeing what I'm trading this bull run. It is only $5 a month. That price will be going up, but you will be grandfathered in if you get in now. That's patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Like this video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.